Looks like it's working.
You already signed in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not scary.
Alderman,
Seconded.
all in favor? Nothing that. It's up to you though. You're here.
Oh, where?
Yeah. Payroll, you're looking at the bills.
Yeah.
We had looked at a set up a workshop meeting to executive session for the Department of Justice deal. You gave that any others?
I'm flexible. Yeah, I'm pretty, other than next Monday.
Okay.
I got an appointment with Stevens.
Yeah.
I gotta find out where my head is.
Friday at 10 work?
Yeah. When?
Friday at 10?
Oh, do we have to make a motion for the chair? Or is
Yeah,
it
you
just
gotta,
a,
yeah, you gotta do that.
huh?
Yeah, you gotta do that.
I'll make a motion for Dick to remain as chair.
Yeah, I second it.
All in favor?
All in favor? There you go.
So what's the date?
The 11th.
Friday would be the 14th, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be 14.
That's 10, right? Of 10?
Yes.
And we're gonna be going over this.
The DOJ one. Justice.
What's the personal policy?
We do have to work on personnel policy, we can do that too, after. You go over a couple of things,
And that's this here, just, is it review it or does it need to be?
review it and see what needs to be updated.
It does need to be updated.
Vinnie,
Well, yeah,
you're on.
okay, I was gonna wait till the end. But anyway, yeah, the only reason I asked some of the comprehensive plan people to come in was because after the last meeting with the selectmen's meeting, someone mentioned that they thought because I wasn't in favor of the certificates of appreciation, that, you know, I didn't clap and all that. I felt, you know, I didn't want to think that the members were offended by it. I mean, you know, so I asked Steve Chairman, and he said he wasn't, right? We just didn't send no offense. So I want to make sure that, you know, because of some actions or inactions by someone that people don't get offended. And I hope the comp plan didn't get offended because I clapped. Part of it was I mentioned, you know, I had this and something in my hand. That was a physical reason. Philosophically, I really don't believe in certificates of appreciation given out to anybody, because I think it would be better at the end of the budget year if the town just put something on the website that said we appreciate everybody else in these, everybody, the employees, the workers, you know, the fire department, everybody, what work they put in, including the volunteer committees.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just want to make clear, I didn't mean to offend anybody, but not applauding, just not part of what I believe. Yeah, not specifically to any group.
You're all good with that?
And yeah, I didn't take it that way, me.
Well,
So-
yeah, You have to adjourn now.
No, I'm thinking. I guess I'm gonna add something to it. What's everybody think about this paying the employees the insurance if they don't take it?
I asked, Albina to. When I asked Albina to ask MMA a question about it. I'd like to hear back from them. To find out. And then I'd like to find out. What the benefit to the town is. So I mean, I'd like to research a little more before we go to it. I'd like to find out exactly legally beneficial to the town, not, you know, I don't want to just say because I said so. I want documentation to why I feel the way I do when I do. So that's my take on it.
I'll say one thing, when I was public works director, I had a. Employee that was retired from the state, he had all his insurance and everything, so he didn't want it, he asked the selectmen about getting, you know, some compensation, because he didn't want the insurance, and they say. I don't know when it changed or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it may be up to the town, I don't know, that's the stuff I want to find out.
Do it, so we have to. Maybe one point.
Yeah, I just want to find out the whole, everything involved with it, and then when there's questions. Or there's gonna be people mad, or they're not, it's, you know, I just want the answers. Whatever takes place.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
There is.
There's a lot of them.
Two,
So you guys to approve.
Cindy. Brian Merrill,
What's up with Brian now?
he was in, last week he was here, he wanted to talk about, and he didn't.
We didn't,
And
no,
then he was in here today, again.
about what?
The doctor, Albany got, they're barking all night.
You didn't call me, so how can I resolve the issue if you don't call me?
I
I don't have a crystal ball.
that's what I said to him, I said, call you. And have you go listen and take care of it, we'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean, cause they
I
had to
just wanna
call.
bring you aware of it.
I
That's,
mean, cause he was down when the cattle was out, like, he automatically assumed it was Brandy.
no,
So, I mean. You can't assume every dog that goes loose in the yard, through your
No.
yard is Brandy's. You have to investigate. You have
he's
to
got,
prove.
I guess he's got pictures and stuff, he'll show you. Oh, really?
So I don't know. They gotta work with me, so I can work with them.
You gonna do anything else?
We have to, I'm on the correspondence folder.
Yeah, you look at it.
Okay, this is what you wanted signed before you send it. The,
Not that particular one, but the letter is in there. That is a request.
Right,
so we're waiting until we find out,
but Bob's getting done,
yeah.
and we're gonna have a new hire. For the rest. Okay,
Yeah,
This is-
on the personnel policies, can you explain to me how if a part-time employee goes to a full-time position, you consider it a new hire, but nobody else does it? Because,
in a lot of cases, they actually put an application out, to do that.
yeah, but the person is already a part-time employee and he gets the full-time position, he's already been hired by the town.
But he is a new person in a full-time position.
No, he's not. Because if you go to, say, Hannaford's, and you start off as a part-time person, then you move into a flex position, then you move into a full-time position. They don't consider you a new employee, they consider you an employee, you just moved in to a different position.
And we're clearing that up with this, right?
that's what we're trying to find out is
Right.
in the personnel policy, there is a piece that says. That a new one, it is a new hire, so.
But the
That's what we're
question,
trying to
the
clarify.
question we're sending to MMA will clarify what
Yes.
he's asked.
Well, when Megan was 30 hours, she went 40 hours, she was still an employee.
But that wasn't with us.
It was with
Well,
Carol.
Mhm.
But that's,
Are we doing that?
and she was in the same position. And she just moved to a full-time position.
To check on
With
the
that,
part-time position, full-time position.
Yeah, I read.
Oh, all right.
Want me to sign it?
Yeah. She wanted us to sign it before she
The
signed it,
one that
right?
you talked to me about earlier. Okay, yeah, one of the things in here, probationary employees are new employees, promoted employees. Or promoted employees. Who serve a prescribed period of close supervision, evaluation, in order to assess the ability of adaptation. Probationary employment may be terminated. At the will and discretion of the Board of Selectmen without advance notice by the employee.
So the part-time employee's been in service, he's already been through his review. And this and that, so he should be automatically a full-time employee.
We just want to clarify it. Everybody's making a big deal out of something that we don't know. We just don't know, so we're gonna make sure. Because if we did the wrong thing, you're gonna be back there complaining about it. So we're just trying to clarify everything, both sides.
This is what we already signed today. This is for the certificate for Albina, this is a certificate for,
Well,
all right. All right, that's nothing's on there.
Stan, we checked.
That's for the man and
I won't say this.
This that's supposed to come up.
What you buy?
What are we supposed to do with that? That's nothing to do with us. Is it?
no. He's got to come in.
Does he know? Can
Eric, do you want the planning board alternative?
What's my deadline to answer right now?
No.
She's on vacation this week, so how about next week?
Pam or Michelle?
Michelle.
Michelle,
Let me make a phone call and I will let Michelle know.
thank you.
Bruce.
May I say something about the planning board?
Sure.
In the past, the planning board is voted like alternates into the full voting membership. That's part of the reason why nobody could tell who was been elected and who was appointed to different positions. So I would suggest that somebody in the future from the planning board tell the selectmen anytime that they transferred somebody's position, like from an alternate to a full-time position, in order to keep the record intact.
Yeah, that's actually the clerk's job, but
Well, and that's what I'm saying, but it hasn't been happening, and that's why nobody could tell who was elected and who was appointed, because when they go from the position they were elected to into a voting member, that membership does not stay with them, they just finish out that year. That,
Right.
do you understand what I'm
Yep.
trying to say there?
Yep. They finish out that last year and then they vote for people.
And then they have to run again, even though they were elected for a 5-year term, it doesn't carry over.
Right.
Once they've been put into a voting position.
Right.
It's just for the rest of that physical year, excuse me.
You wanna go with the tablet to go with the phones? I don't.
No, I don't think
No,
so.
we don't need it right now. What we got?
We've already done this. Okay, this is the help wanted ad.
Yep.
Just put what penny in the town, they said.
Yep.
Unless you go with.
Analyze system
Town
reimbursements.
Yep,
Why would you like?
I know. I have the same questions. I don't know when the contract comes up. Can you think of that?
You see the price?
May I say one thing further about that?
Sure.
Even if he doesn't take it, he was elected to it, so if you appoint somebody, that will only be for a year.
Right.
That's the,
I just wanted to thank Cliff,
the
Public Works
people
Department,
who
did
did talk to the attorney.
huge difference, so thank you for taking care of that. And I want to thank Cindy Eaton for saving us from cow stampede down at Main Street today. Good job, Cindy.
45 minutes to get it done.
Yeah. Good. Right.
And all the budget committee positions been filled? You know, I feel,
So,
I thought they were, but.
so Michelle would have those.
They do.
Dick, a couple quick questions. Did we get an invoice from Bernstein Shore for the 2 questions that were sent to them?
No,
Are we expecting one?
no,
Did we get an invoice from the town attorney for the mediation that occurred?
we got one,
for the mediation.
yeah,
The lawsuit.
yeah. I don't believe we got that final bill yet.
I don't think we've got it
I
yet.
don't think we got the final bill yet.
Okay, planning board has a meeting tonight at 7. And since LD 2003, the revisions went through. You want us to get back in touch with the attorney so that he can give us a draft of the revised land use ordinance. You know, we tabled that.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
had to have it done by July 1st, but now it's been extended to July 1st, 2024. So do you want us to get that in motion and get it taken care of?
Let's table it a week.
let's hold on a week and see.
And the last thing is Article 6 and 7 require a hiring committee. So will the election for those 4 people be this November?
Yes.
Next.
Bernstein Shore, 27 is what we spend on attorney fees for 22.
Do you remember?
What's
That's so far. That's not a total number.
I don't.
and in 20 and 23?
25 was 25 to 23, 27 to 20.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Bernstein Shore came in at 20 blanket
Mm-hmm.
for ordinances, back and forth, questions, etc. There's a few litigations not included, and there's a few things. So that's cheaper than both of these. Bernstein Shore is no gap in coverage.
Right.
They can litigate, they can work everything. We're in uncharted territory, and we've got a lot of questions coming. And I'd like to make a motion to make Bernstein Shore the town attorney.
But if they can't get an invoice from April 26th to the town,
What's that?
No, because they donated it.
Then you should get
Then
a slip saying that they donated their service.
Yeah.
so, exactly, so you're giving me conflicting information on a FOIA request.
Why do you figure that?
Because I was told that you hadn't received an invoice yet.
And we hadn't. And then we called and asked them, and they said, no, we're donating that.
We have no documents, so there's no anything for FOA or FOA or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's no documents, so there's,
I would think a professional lawyer would do up an invoice that says, we did X work for X person. And we charged X amount, whether it was free or not. And that way you had records to go by.
we've got the letter he wrote us to
Yeah.
get by.
But you don't have records of the fact that you did business with them. And that it didn't cost the town anything, or it did cost the town anything.
We don't have to justify it. He's donated his time and thanked them. That's what it is.
They're not conducting it as a charitable contribution, right?
No,
So they
There's no
don't,
monetary.
yeah, so they don't need to. Yeah, file anything.
When I told him to send an invoice, he said that in good faith gesture that he would review it on his time and write the letters, and that's what he did.
So why wasn't that told to me in a FOIA request? Instead of, we haven't received the invoice yet.
There's no invoice. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I make the no comment.
you asked for an invoice, there was no invoice, so you didn't get an
No,
invoice. And we haven't received.
yeah, meaning that there would be one coming.
They might not have known.
That's junk. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, if it was donated, then it should have been announced, kind of donated,
So,
so everybody knows.
yeah, yeah. I'm waiting for somebody else to second.
All set.
Yeah, all in favor?
I'll pay you.
All in favor?
Put it in.
Yeah.
What's going on?
We finished voting on the question,
On what question?
the question that he asked.
Bernstein
So
Shores.
I didn't hear everything John said, but could you explain why select board wants to switch from the attorney that Leah, whatever her firm is, to Bernstein Shore?
We have full coverage with Bernstein Shore, and with the amount of going back and forth, it'll be cheaper. We spent more on Lear than what Bernstein on the blanket will be. The only time it'll be more than the 20,000 will be on litigation. Other than that, we can go back and forth with ordinances, they'll write ordinances, zoning, all of this back and forth falls under the blanket.
In other words, it's kind of like a retainer,
Right, it's a retainer blanket.
and then the charges, whatever we ask them to do, that gets charged against that blanket.
Yeah, but if you go over, it doesn't change.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
As long as it's
That's
not
a contract.
litigation. There's stipulations, litigation, and a few other things, if legal, going to court, that'll be above that.
Right.
But anything with writing ordinances, questions, like what we send to MMA, we can send to them, and that's no extra charge over the 20.
So if we do have to use them for something else, what's their hourly rate?
For litigation, it would be 250. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, 250 an
She
hour,
was 230.
230.
She had just gone to 230. We'll look at that back. And then. Okay. I don't.
What's a WCSIP code? Loss control consultant. I don't know what,
That's the gentleman that came and met me with me about the safety program.
okay. So that's what's being taken care of with the strip and all that stuff.
We're hoping it will do.
You want to see that, or you're all set?
No, I've already looked at that.
That's not. Implementation committee, we're gonna,
Yeah, we'll have to look at that.
well,
But we're ready Waiting for our answer back.
All right, okay. The housing opportunity, have you guys already gone through this? So do I have to? All right,
Yeah, you need.
Well,
to-
you can look at it, I mean, see if there's anything, but.
so this is,
That's all, when I put them like that, that's all emails.
To do with that one thing.
Every time I get a new email from somebody, I get all the old thread with it. It's very costly, but that's the way I get
so
it.
we're getting. A housing opportunity program. This is all,
That's all litigation.
the. Comp plan committee. All right, this is all.
Yeah, that's all the stuff in the back.
Okay, so we're good.
Yes.
Well.
Anything else?
Did you?
Sure.
I just wondered if there's been any headway or information, on where the overpayment, hourly wage overpayment to the selectmen's assistant is coming from for last fiscal year.
We'd have Chuck and Wanda. Right? I don't know that it's an overpayment. We agreed to terms and we met it, so I don't see where it's an overpayment, right?
There was never a vote taken on an hourly wage, it was just on hours of work week, there was never a distinctive hour wage in the minutes that were recorded, so it should have reverted back to the prior hourly wage, unless there was an actual motion made.
Let's Chuck in with them, I mean.
Yeah.
We have the authority to do what we did.
We made the motion to hire for what you wanted, so.
Yeah,
But there wasn't money there, I'm just asking where the money's coming from.
we'll check with Wanda. We found it. Ricky's the one that found the money where it was coming from, so we'll check with Wanda to see where it came from.
She told me.
Did that one.
Of the what funds?
ARPA funds,
Uh,
it was part of that whole plan.
So you're saying that the overpayment is coming from ARPA funds?
Yes, that's what she just told me.
But Wanda told me,
That,
Now you can let it stop.
Yeah.
no, I'm saying,
You said that they're not calling it another.
as a taxpayer, I'm calling it an overpayment, I'm also calling it highly illegal that it's coming from ARPA funds. So
We'll
you're
find out
asking
from
me
them.
that it's one.
we'll clarify it, not a
Because
problem.
ARPA funds are dedicated.
Can I say something about that?
They are, they give payroll, that's why, quite honestly, gonna do payroll in this. If you watch the news this morning.
I remember-
The fire department doing payroll with this.
I remember Wanda telling me she could do that.
I'm being paid overtime for, out of.
I got a question for Eric. Where did you get the money to pay me when you hired me as a part-time snowplow driver? When you listen to me first. When you advertised for $15 an hour and you paid me 20, where'd you get that money?
If you remember correctly, there was, a period of time in the Public Works Department where there wasn't an employee, I believe, that year, so there was leftover payroll anyways. Because there was a period of time with a vacancy, and there was also overtime money that was dispersed back to pay you an hourly wage.
But you just said a minute ago that you feel that it was illegal for them to offer her more money than what was allocated.
It
What
wasn't,
I'm saying is,
it wasn't, there was a vote taken, and the vote wasn't, there was no dollar value with the vote, there was just hours with the vote. I'm just asking where the money's coming from to pay the overage.
that's a good question. I agree with that, but as far as these guys decide and making a decision on when they're hiring somebody. Especially in this case where they called her and asked her to come down. And act to fill in part-time, I want people to hear this. To fill in part-time, and she did, and then they advertised for the position, they didn't get one application other than hers. So I think you're complaining about something that really don't amount to.
I'm not complaining about the position of the employee, I'm questioning where the money is coming. That's it, where the money is coming.
Okay, leave it at that.
And the vote is not recorded properly, where the money was coming from to pay the extra. I think it was $6 an hour, $5 an hour, where that was coming from. There was no vote recorded where it's coming from, so that's all I'm questioning. The position wasn't vacant for a period of time, so there were no extra funds.
It came from Apple, we'll find out from them if it was legal, one just said it was legal, so we'll verify that that's where it came from.
Oh, that makes sense.
No,
wait.
Wait,
Yeah.
thank you, I was.
Anything else?
I'm good.
Flip. Since we're talking about employees and money, since Bob's leaving. You got the director, employee 1 and 2. Bob leaves, does that mean Buddy jumps up into Bob's position money wise?
The job is advertised as 2, I believe, right? Is the job advertised as just an employee or is it
It should be a full-time employee.
I think
does Buddy want to move up?
Wouldn't he have to apply
Buddy
for it?
wants to,
He does.
and Buddy can do what Bob said. Ain't no reason why Buddy couldn't jump up into
Buddy can
Bob's.
do a lot.
Uh,
Buddy can do a lot.
Yeah. I've got no problem with him going to that position, but if the position's gonna be posted, does he apply for it and then we grant it? For Buddy, it doesn't.
Well, you can hire within, I think.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
it seems to me there's 2 employees, right? I mean, I'm not calling you an employee because you're the
Right,
director.
the way it's in the book, you got the director, you got employee 1, employee 2. Which means I'm the director, Bob's
Yeah.
employee 1, Buddy employee 2, money's different. Bob being leaving, why couldn't Buddy jump up into Bob's position money wise?
I guess my question would have to be, why is the money different from 2 employees doing the same
It's
job?
in the book.
No, but I mean, how did that happen?
That was a mess back when it happened.
I guess
remember.
Bob was the director and he moved down. So,
Yeah, that was a whole mess that happened, so that's what we'd have to.
we'll look into that, we'll look into that, we'll look into that.
I don't know that.
Before we start hiring somebody, so I can figure out what's up.
Okay.
I got no problem with him moving up, just gotta work out the grade,
Right,
I think, but.
so,
And would like to, that's something we can do in executive session, then we can talk with him.
Chad,
I'm not trying to stir any trouble, but what Cliff just said, with the guy moving into a first position, is he gonna be under a 90-day review? Because it's a different position.
that's what we're trying to find out. Again, it's already gone through the lawyers and we can find out. It's just stirred, it is stirred. It is. You can call it what you want.
It's there, I asked him, so.
Good.
Also, if the rate of pay is different.
Yeah.
Should the qualifications be different? Why it? Doesn't make sense, the rate of pay is different, either that needs to be aligned, the qualifications are the same, or you need to add qualifications to the higher, so that.
Right.
And that's what we want to do. It's, Bob was, as I understand it, was Public Works Director. And he stepped down, Cliff stepped in. And Bob remained the same pay.
He went to
New
Hampshire and worked.
Oh, wow.
He just
Did he?
didn't step down.
We
weren't there at the time.
Director. Brian took over. Bob came back as. A helper, employee, laborer, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, so we just gotta figure out what the rate pay is. I don't know.
Yeah. I was just going by what's in the book.
No, right, yeah, I understand.
Good question.
Hmm?
I think it's a good question.
Do we know what the difference is in what they perform for duties? Between employee 2 and 3,
All this public works, the director is. Does things, but we all do pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
It's all you want, we drive trucks, we plow snow, we dig holes, we do all.
I know, I'm not sure of these two, but I would like,
But employee one. Step into your role. For supervisory purposes. Like, is there, that's what I'm thinking, like,
Right now, what we have right now as far as personnel, yes, Buddy can step into my position. If I was to go somewhere on vacation. or something,
right,
He could do that.
so that's the employee one that you're talking about that's being
Yeah,
vacated,
The way it says in the book is get director, who you want to apply to,
in that order,
yes.
going down.
And then you.
There's a difference in compensation.
and I'd like to talk with him in executive session and offer to help him succeed. With certain things, you know more about it than I do, but we've got issues with the roads.
Right.
So if we could, and Cliff could be there, I've got no problem with that.
No, there's training, more training we need to get done.
Right, yeah, we want you guys to succeed, we wanna help you succeed.
Well, I appreciate that.
No.
We just had questions on how that worked.
Right, and that's what
Well,
we're
you had
gonna,
a question, but so did I.
right, and that's what we're gonna try to find out and clarify with,
It needs to be changed. Employee one, employee two. Unless you've got some specifications on, what the qualifications are.
Right.
They should be getting paid the same. Then it wouldn't be an issue.
right.
I don't know how that ever came about.
Yeah. And I'm not sure right now what his pay was compared to.
Yeah, okay, we'll look into it too.
And then we gotta align with what was voted. So they're probably right, we probably gotta move them in with the same pay. Well, I just don't know, I mean, that's what I'd like to. Talk to them about and offer some training to help, The training I'm hoping would save.
It helps the whole town. Yep.
Well, there's no appointed positions available in the town, whether they're new ones that didn't exist before, existing ones. Are they gonna be advertised so people who might be interested can, say they would like to be appointed to that position? And also with possibly new elected positions for implementation of stuff. That's all gonna be advertised whenever that election comes up, one of the appointments.
Yes.
Thanks.
Aren't there job descriptions and job titles instead of employee one and employee two?
I don't think that there's been employees. There are job descriptions.
Yeah, but they're not one and two anymore.
No, they both come under the same description. At least unless they've changed something I don't know
A job title.
Yeah. I got one thing to say what you're talking about, and hold on to Turkey service. Employee one is basically should be based off of your experience. If you're low experience, you should be employee number two. The person with more experience should be employee one, just so when Flip has to disappear. Person with more experience is running stuff. That's on that. The other question I got is on dump.
Yeah.
Is there a way we can get either the boat rentals or campgrounds to dump either in the other dumpster or make that other dumpster compatible with a dump trailer? So you don't have to spend 20 minutes, half hour shoveling the trailer out because all the dumpsters are full.
That does happen once in a while, it's happened in the past years,
Yeah.
things get full.
Normally I miss it when I have a dump trailer on, but I did this weekend.
What was it, demo debris or
Household trash.
household trash?
It was just household trash, barn trash. It was just scrap bags and stuff, and I had to, of course, I didn't think the dump was gonna be full, so I went 2 hours earlier than I normally would go. Thinking I had built a dump, and well, no, I had two full dumpsters, and
I had to get shovels and shovel stuff out. And the other dumpster's too high, is that what it is? No, you get Jersey barriers or whatever you call them, blocking it up, so they're 20 inches taller and I can't back into nothing. If you make that distance, probably half the distance at least, back up to. I could use my ramp off my trailer and back my trailer ramp onto that whole thing and hit the button and dump it. Yeah, or we could, put a gap in the blocks and put a gate in there, so you could open the gate and then. Yeah, well, there's a gate there, but it's all, I think it's all hose clamped or whatever there. Yeah,
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Gates.
yeah,
I was down at the transfer station and Wally just dumped and they were cleaning up. Running with the gate open. That would be awful if you happen to trip over the lip. So I would like to make a motion to put a connector on the gate that whenever the gate's open, the compactor won't work. The switch box, they can put a connector.
well, they have to cycle the compactor to get all this trash in there.
With the gate open.
Yeah, it's the only way they can do it.
Something's gotta change. We can't do that. But we can't. When he leaves, they're scooping stuff in with the gate open, the compactor working. He happened to trip over that lip. There's no way to stop it.
What truck did he have this time?
I don't know what truck. I didn't see the truck. The gate
Because
was
he-
open and they were
He
scooping
said
stuff in.
he got his other truck fixed, so he wouldn't have to do that anymore.
Right,
So hopefully that's with the case.
So how do you wanna fix that, Jim?
yeah. I'd like to fix it so that when the compactor will only work when the gate's closed.
You can't cycle it, you can't, yeah,
You have to cycle it with the truck there. It won't hold the whole.
no.
We've got to do some research. We gotta do something to cover our ass. We're gonna get in trouble.
Can you put a beam across like the garage door opener, so someone breaks the beam, it shuts off the compactor, they have the garage door openers that come down.
Yeah, we'll look into that.
Yeah, for the kidney beam, yeah.
If we can come up with a solution that will work when the truck is in.
Yeah.
If that pulls out, it won't
Well,
work.
regular people shouldn't be there when they're doing that.
We just had the.
Oh, this wasn't a regular person. This was an employee that was. And he was pushing the broom and over it and there's just that lip like that. Well, he catches his foot on it. And the other guy's busy over here.
And we put the gates up. And you need a lip on there,
Right,
is what they said,
right.
and since he's an employee. If he's the only one sweeping. Then there's no liability enough. As far as the town people.
So he can get compacted down in there and squashed and put out and we're not liable.
But he wants to call back and he sweeps it in there.
And he trips and falls and then I'm paying for it with a lawsuit, right? Or it's not.
I think what I'm getting at, OSHA will come in and clean our clock.
Right, we'll have to look into that, see what we can do.
You know,
Bill,
There have been any number of inspections and I've gone along with the DEP people. And they look at the way it's set up. And they say, this is the way it should be. Now, if you wanna change the gates and move things, go right ahead, but then the next inspector is liable to say, oh no, you screwed it up, now put it back the way it's supposed to be. Now, let's go back to the talk about this guy with his trash truck. Why is the town of Brownfield allowing a trash company to come in and dump this stuff all over the damn ground at our transfer station? Tell them to go where other trash companies go, to the sites where they are licensed to take it. And they don't have to worry about it.
he's hauling taxpayer trash.
They're all hauling taxes.
I make a motion, you don't pay the $150 anymore.
Oh, where's we get paid?
yeah, he is paying.
We get to pay it, you don't pay the $150.
That's right, yeah,
Awesome,
yeah.
I like to pay for the people's trash.
Yeah. Okay,
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I
I got one last question.
Go ahead.
I'm working with Willie with Brownfield Days. Are the selectmen doing anything during Brownfield Days?
No, I'm out of town every year that which,
Okay, so nobody will be.
somebody might show up.
Okay,
Years ago, I showed up.
I will talk to Willis.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be able to this year.
no, you good. Family thing. Yeah. Okay, you second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
That's it.
Meeting adjourned.
That one, well.